Hey, what's going on, Pokemon trainers? Trainer Connor 100 here, and you are about to watch another Wi-Fi battle video here in Pokemon Champions. Okay, Pokemon trainers, we are going to finally use Mega Falinks in this battle video. This is one of my longer videos, but it'll be worth the watch. I promise you on that. As always, if you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's go over my Pokemon. Alright, first up we have Mega Falinks with No Retreat, Close Combat, Rock Slide, Protect with the ability Defiant, Max Attack and Max Speed with a Jolly Nature. It is a shiny Phalanx. I got this in, I want to say, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Alright, then we have Grimmsnarl with Fake Out like Screen, Sucker Punch, and Parting Shot. Very defensively minded here. Of course, we have Prankster for the ability and a Sassy Nature on this bad boy right here. Torterra is next, and he runs a really cool Shell Smash, Woodhammer, High Horsepower, Rock Slide set. It's gonna be awesome. We will use him at some point in this battle video. Next up we have Toxapex, and I don't usually use this kind of Pokemon because it's rather annoying to face, but we are going to use it. We have Liquidation on it, along with Toxic, Infestation, Recover. How would you like to face this one in battle? Now, to add more offense to the team, we have Hisuian Arcanine. You see there he has Square Blitz, Rock Slide, Wild Charge, Protect on it, Ability Intimidate as always, Max Attack and Max Speed with an Adamant Nature. Lastly, we have Aegislash as our final Pokemon in the squad with Cane Shield, Poltergeist, Shadow Snake, and Iron Head. The EVs are a little bit different. You see I have Max HP with a lot of attack investment, with a little bit of defense to hopefully live a few hits. But that's the squad for today's video. Let's go find some games. Okay, so this first game against Scarnets, you see Whimsicott, and I'm like, yep, it's gonna be Tailwind. It's not fun to face, especially when you have things like Charizard, Venusaur, Greninja, Metagross, and Garchomp, which all of them can Mega Evolve. So what are we bringing? We're bringing Aegislash and Arcanine, so we can have offensive pressure against these Pokemon. And then in the back we have Grimmsnarl and Phalanx. Alright, here we go. This is the first battle out of 4. I've done 4 battles in this video. So we'll see how we do in this first game. Here we do see Whimsicott and Charizard, which is scary, but if we can play it right, maybe we'll win this one. So immediately we see my opponent switching out, goes into Greninja. I decided to go for King Shield, which I probably should have attacked the Whimsicott, but I was worried about the Charizard. And that's fair, if you know what I mean. What do you guys think? We do go for Rock Slide on both of these Pokemon with Hisuian and Arcanine, which is great. And it does a lot of damage to the Greninja. Now here's where it could have been a 50-50, because yes, you could go for a Dark type move on my Aegislash, but then you can also go for a Water type move on Arcanine. I do end up calling that correctly, but again, it's a 50-50, and you really don't want to be in that situation. So here I finally go for Iron Head, knocking out Whimsicott in the process, which is fantastic. We don't have to worry about Tailwind anymore. However, he will bring in his Charizard Mega Evolve safely. It is Charizard Y. With Greninja out here, I knew that it was going to probably go for a Dark type move on my Aegislash, so that's why I went for Shadow Snake. Fortunately, we actually knock it out, so very happy about that. However, we will lose the Aegislash because it's a sun boosted fire type attack. There's no way we're surviving that hit. I miss my Rock Slide right there. That is huge because Charizard Y becomes a problem. We are able to go into our Phalanx and Mega Evolve safely here. I'm hoping we can use No Retreat, but with both of these Pokemon out here, I cannot risk setting up. With that said, we're going to protect. Unfortunately, Charizard, which should be dead by now, goes for Solar Beam on Arcanine, I was expecting the Metagross to attack my Falinks, but he double targets Arcanine. I was like, are you serious? Okay, great. So now I have just these two Pokemon out here. Charizard goes for Protect, and I go for Fake Out on the Charizard. So that was a good play by my opponent once again. I go for Rock Slide. Yeah, things are not looking too bright here. If Arcanine had hit his Rock Slide earlier, we wouldn't be here in this situation. So I have a Berry on this Grimmsnarl, which allows it to survive any Steel-type attack. We get some more information about the Metagross. It has leftovers, so we know it's more bulky. So I'm like, alright, we'll go for Sucker Punch on it and then go for Close Combat. Sure, that would knock it out. Metagross holds on with 1 HP. Wow, that is crazy. So Charizard now goes for Solar Beam. I'm not sure why. He could have gone for a Fire type move. Maybe he has Heat Wave and he doesn't want to miss it. I mean, I have no defense whatsoever because I went for Close Combat. Meteor Mash coming from Metagross is going to easily finish off Grimmsnarl without the critical hit. That was a little unnecessary. We lose this first game. We played pretty well at first and then we just let the match slip between our fingers. I mean, I probably would have won it, right? Because Arcanine, if you just hit your Rock Slide, oh well, what can you do? So we are forced to play a bot, but we'll make it go quick because we have a Shell Smash Torterra. You can see it happen right here. We go for Fake Out on the Sylveon. Torterra is ready to go here. He has that White Herb. That's it. We're ready to destroy some Pokemon. Unfortunately, though, we have to take a Smart Strike. No problem there. We have the berry for it. Very happy I have access to these berries. I'm going to use them more often. Okay, so now I try going for Sucker Punch on the Aggron. I'm sure it's probably going for Scary Face right there. If I go for the High Horsepower, it is boosted. I thought it would have Sturdy as its ability. Nope, not this time. Moonblast, it almost knocks out Grendel. He hangs on with 13 HP, however, I thought the Sylveon would change his moves, so I switch out and I sacrifice my Falinks. I really don't know why I did that. So we are able to knock out Gengar, no problem. But this bot is carrying Hydreigon. So if I just stayed in with Grendel, brought in Falinks fresh, yeah, that would have happened if I just didn't switch out like that. Arcanine comes back for more action. Here's the Hydreigon. And when I saw it, I was like, damn, where's my Falinks at? So we're going to go for Woodhammer on the Sylveon. So you can see Torterra is coming in clutch. Figured it would be a good showing of my Shell Smash set. I don't have anything super effective on the Hydreigon at this point, so we're going to go for Flare Blitz, put some chip damage onto it. Yeah, at that range, I think Woodhammer, even though it's not super effective, it will knock it out. Here we go, Woodhammer, kabam. Yep. +2 boosted, Shell Smash, Woodhammer, Stab, not super effective. That is enough damage to knock it out, and that's the end of this battle right here. Hope you all enjoyed that. Even though that was a bot battle, I wanted to showcase the Shell Smash Torterra that I have going on there. So in this fight here, we see Tyranitar, Aggron, Arcanine, regular form, Dragonite, Armarouge, and Sylveon once more. So it's like, alright, well, we just faced these types of Pokemon just now. Why not do it again? We'll try using Fake Out with Grimmsnarl, and then Shell Smash Torterra, and then we'll use Barrier, the Toxapex for the first time, and our Mega Falinks. So we'll see how we do in this battle right here. Yeah, with the Pokemon that he has, I feel confident in my choices. Mega Falinks actually goes crazy in this fight, as well as Torterra. This is a fight that I feel like we can win if we do things correctly. No misplays, like the last fight. Alright, so here, I go for Fake Out on turn 1. We actually hit the Dragonite coming in, and that's fine with me because we break the multi-scale. We see Tyranitar going for Fire Punch. I was not really expecting that. It's really rare for Tyranitar to pack a move like that. Anyways though, we are able to go for the Shell Smash. Our attack and speed boosted. Yeah, somebody's going to go down the next turn, and that's going to be Tyranitar. We see the Tyranitar going for its secondary evolution at this point. Even with that Mega Boost, I am actually going to still knock it out, which is entertaining. We go for Parting Shot on the Dragonite to ensure that Hurricane wouldn't KO Torterra. So that checks out. We go into Barrier now. Barrier the Toxapex. A very annoying Pokemon to face. So like I said, even with the Tyranitar going for that secondary evolution, it still doesn't help him. We do take a little bit of recoil damage. He actually has Fire Blast. He's hitting that move in Sandstorm. That is actually crazy. I mean, I had my share of hitting moves in Sandstorm as well. I will say, it is a gamble. Let me know in the comments if you went through something like that. Okay, so we see Aggron coming back for more. Why not use our Mega Falinks? I mean, it's about time, right? So we see it Mega evolving. I like the shiny sprite more. Now, I could go for No Retreat, but you have to remember Aggron has Sturdy. It makes no sense to go for the No Retreat at this moment in time. We see Dragonite go for Ice Beam right here. It really doesn't, like, Hurricane is free in this situation. You can knock out my Mega Falinks if you wanted. But since my opponent failed to do that, we're going to keep on using our Mega Falinks. I mean, I'm not complaining here. Alrighty, so now in this situation, I feel like going for Rock Slide makes sense because we can knock out Aggron and then we can put some super effective damage onto the Dragonite. That's our game plan right now. We don't miss the Rock Slide here. We knock out Aggron at any point. My opponent could have just gone for a Draco Meteor on my Falinks. But no, he just straight up attacks my Toxapex. Like, I get the fact that it's bulky and everything, you want to knock it out as soon as you can. But I mean, Mega Falinks is super vulnerable at this point. If I was my opponent right now, I would have targeted the Mega Falinks. But that's just me. So we see Barrier restoring some HP, and now we see the combination of Toxic and Infestation to its full potential here, and we're able to knock out the Dragonite. But hold on a second, we have Armarouge. I end up actually misclicking here. You know what, my controller was like, hey, why don't you just keep on using Rock Slide? Yeah, that was not a good look for Falinks there. I go for Liquidation, it is super effective, but it is a Toxapex. It's not known to put damage. The Sandstorm finally wears off, which is good, and I have my Grimmsnarl in the back to use Fake Out or Sucker Punch. I actually end up going for Sucker Punch. We do see a Quick Claw on this Armarouge, which will help him KO my Toxapex as it goes for the Expanding Force. But all I have to do is just go for another Sucker Punch. That's literally the only move I have on my Grimmsnarl, so if it has Protect or something, I really don't want to play that game. So he ends up attacking, thankfully, and we win this battle. I'm happy we won this one with Mega Falinks as the binder. But here's the thing, we haven't used No Retreat yet, and I think this battle right here, there's an opportunity there, so let's do it. So we're playing against Halo. He's got some interesting Pokemon. I'm happy to see some variety. Like, you have Hydrapple, you have your Manectrics, you have your Alcremies. Yeah, we see Super Sweet Syrup, and that is great as we get that Defiant boost. So that's the first step in trying to use our Mega Falinks to its full power. Combine Defiant with No Retreat. That is scary! I'll tell you that right now. Fake Out hits the Hydrapple, and we go for the No Retreat. Am I greedy for doing that? No, not really. He goes for Moxiconsha, and like, that does a lot of damage. On a Sinistra? Damn. But we do live it though. I go for Light Screen. I don't have Reflect on this set, but it's okay because here we go. We have our Mega Falinks, go for close combat, that's going to finish off any Hydra Apple out there. That is super satisfying. Masakasha again, and we survived that one as well. We have Arcanine. I was worried that this thing had extreme speed, so I go for Protect. You know, we have to play it safe. He goes for, well, we go for Sucker Punch first. Priority, guys. He goes for Head Smash and destroys Grendel. Aw, man. But it's okay because I brought Barrier, the Coxapex. Because if you have a Coxapex, your chances of winning pretty much skyrocket. Now he withdraws Arcanine and goes into Manectric. Not sure why, because we're gonna go for a close combat and we just knock it out. It's wonderful that we don't have to worry about the Manectric Mega evolving at any point, so that's great. However, Moksha Gotcha at that range will knock out Mega Falinks. We go for Toxic on the Celestia. I have my Aegislash in the back. However, we have to deal with Arcanine, so how do we handle it? We do have King's Shield, so if it goes for 4 Blitz, it will lower its attacking power. That's where my game plan is at. So here I go for King's Shield with Aegislash, but my opponent goes for Head Smash instead and hits the Toxapex. Yeah, that was a very smart play. Not to worry though, because at that range of HP, I can go for Liquidation, and we'll knock out Arcanine right there, and then we can just go for Shadow Sneak, maybe Poltergeist, whatever it may be. But I think we have this battle in the bag. We go for the stance change. I believe we go for the Shadow Sneak. I probably should have gone for the Poltergeist right there. But I really thought the Shadow Sneak would KO. But because we failed to KO, Aegislash goes down. But the good news is that we poisoned the Celestia. Combine that with Infestation, we're going to win this battle. So that was a very entertaining way of finishing things off. Hope you guys enjoyed these battles featuring Mega Falinks. We defeat Halo. Thank you for the battle, my friend. I would say Falinks is a good Pokemon, especially in its Mega form, but you gotta find the right time to set up. If you do, then you're going to win a lot of battles. So give Mega Falinks a shot if you haven't already. Hope you all enjoyed these battles, like I said. Feel free to like and subscribe for more battle videos, and I'll see you guys next week, back here in Pokemon Champion.